Hello and welcome to the Vision Reporting Tool video sessions. In this video, we're going to go over how to add cell expressions to reports. Now, similar to Excel, you can add various expressions to a table cell to perform a function on that data in that field, such as sum, count, and average. And you can also create text expressions, which we'll go over that also. So, let's get started. Okay, the easiest way or most efficient way to show you how to add expressions, I think, will be by creating a brand new report right from scratch. So I'm hitting the plus sign, create report, and we have expandable reports and page reports. I'm going to use the RDL, which is the expandable report, and click on create report. One quick little housekeeping item, when you come in here, by default, you're looking at the body. And just to show you something else, if I click outside the body in this little white area, and then I'm going to see the report area. So grid, body, outside grid, report. And the reason I'm showing that to you, let me take the elevator down a little bit, is this right here. You can make the report a portrait or landscape or letter or legal, portrait or landscape, and then of course change the size of your paper. So, but for our purposes, this is fine. We'll do this. So I'm going to expand my left bar over here. And I'm going to go down and grab a table. I'm right-clicking anywhere in the body, and I'll click on header. And I'll make the header a little bit bigger. And now I'm going to take our table, select it, and I'm just using my up arrow just to make it snug it up right against the bottom of the header. And I'll expand the light bar again. And I'm going to put in an input field, meaning I can input data here. And for right now, I'll just drag it all the way over. I'm just going to start typing and center it. Okay. Now I'm going to put some fields in here. So the first thing I'll do is I'm going to show you two ways of doing this. I'm going to right click where I'm at right now, hover over column, and click on right. And that changed it from 3 columns to 4 columns. I find that a little bit cumbersome, so I'm going to select a whole column. So I clicked here, that selected the whole column. I'm going to come up here to table, and then I have an option for columns and the same option, but a little bit easier. So right click, add a column. Right column. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's do one more. Now I do one more. I've now exceeded my report area, or the printable area, because of how I set the report up. So let's go ahead and move these down just a little bit. So I'm going to click right here and drag it all the way over. And I might have to do some resizing later, but we'll see. And move that back over. All right, so I have my column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Fine. I want to group this report by statuses available and sold available and so forth. So I need a table group. So I'm right-clicking, hovering over group, and insert group. And I think I have everything I need. All right. So my first step is I'm going to add my columns. So here, this is going to be a row count. So I'll just type in row count, and I'll come over here, and now let's go to our data, because I want to put obviously data here. So I'm clicking on the data mine up here. I don't have a data set yet, so I'm clicking on add. I'm clicking on my data set, and then here's all the data sets available to me. So Today we're working on inventory, so I'll highlight inventory and click on add. And let's go ahead and throw the stock number first. So again, I'm throwing the stock number down into this row because this row is the data row. This is the header, this is the row where the data will show up at. So now that's the stock number. Let's go grab status. Next one, new or used, designation. And let's grab brand. Let's grab model. And we'll grab price. Now hopefully you see you could have added more rows, and then if you did, then you would have the ability to add more data to it. So for our purposes, this should show off what we're trying to accomplish here. Okay, so let's actually hit preview. See what we've done so far. So there's all of our data, bringing over what we had brought over. And a couple things, I don't need that much room up here, so let's kind of do a little bit of housekeeping. So I'm hitting back, and I'm going to double click on designation and get rid of everything up here and throw a G in there maybe, and make this column a little bit smaller. And status probably doesn't need to be that big. Stock number doesn't need to be that big. And let's change that to stock number, a little bit more meaningful. Okay, model. Now here I do want a little bit bigger. So brand, let's make that a little bit bigger. Model, and I'm not sure if list will need bigger or not, but we'll give it a bit more, and I'll give it brand again. Oop. Now I don't want to exceed it. Watch what happens. Just look at that right hand side. I just exceeded the area, and so I'm having 2 pages, and we don't want that. If we want to correct that, we want that, well, then we just change the size of the paper to something bigger. Okay, so now I'm still a little bit over, so let's just move stock number down a little bit. Good. Now that grid area is just encompassing one area here. Okay, let's see what we did. I think it looks good. Okay, let's go back. So a couple things. Let's go ahead and start on the row count first. So I want to count how many rows are within a group. And the group is going to be the statuses, available, unsold, available, and so forth. So I'm clicking on table group here, and I'm going to properties. So the group expression I want is I'm hitting the add plus sign, and I'm hitting the data getter. Probably a more technical term for that than that, and I'm going to go down to status and click on it. So now it's going to be grouped by status. So let's see what we did. So now all my A's are there, and I'm going to click on this continuous just to show you. And now when I take the scroll bar down, I can see every item in there. So I'm seeing all available. If I keep going, eventually I should see the essays and essays. Now, actually, I'm just seeing a subset of my data. So let me hit this, or not all the data when I hit the preview. So let's expand that. Instead of partial data, let's run the full report, which won't take that long with our data we have in here. And let me show you that again. So again, we're concentrating on this column that says status. Still in the A's. Okay, now we have FS's in there. And if I keep going down, we have SAs and so forth. Okay, so we're able to group them that way together. So hit back here. Now, first off, I want to get rid of those FSs. I don't need those. This is a salesman's inventory report. So down here, under, again, I'm still in table group. I'm hitting add, add, take the elevator down to status. Not equal to FS. Okay, I'm hitting back out of filters. So I've grouped it by status, and then I just got rid of the all the FSs because we don't need FSs. So now let's go ahead and do some grouping here, or some more grouping actually. So I'm clicking on the second row down, and I want to do a count of the items. So I am right-clicking. I am clicking on Cell Expression. I'm going to click on Aggregate, and I'm going to click on Count, or double-click on Count. Now up here, it already pre-fills it into it. I'm putting in the capital letter I and the lowercase d, and I'm hitting Save. Now, where did I get ID at? Right here. I want to count the stock numbers here. Now, when I hit Preview, we should just see a number sitting there. So I hit Preview. So I'm seeing 750 units had the status of A. Now let's run this for the full report. So I'm seeing just partial data now. I want to see all the data. So again, 750 units with the status A. So let's drop down a few pages. And there's 311 with the status of SA. Now, that is called the expanded view, which is very cumbersome to see. You have 39 pages. You'd have to go back and forth. So how can we make this expandable and collapsible? So again, let's go to Count ID. And right now, Count ID, the name of that field is text box 22. It's kind of ambiguous. So let's go ahead and call that Count ID. And down here, I want to be able to expand and contract based on how many units are in each status. So I'm clicking outside the table on this little row icon. Hopefully you can see it. There's a dark blue outline of the entire row. And over here, toggle item, expand and contract. I'm clicking here. I'll just type the letter C in, and that will find our field, Count ID. And I'm going to put this on true right now, and when you see it, it'll make sense. So let's hit Preview now. So again, I said let's be able to expand and contract based on the status of the unit. And there you go. So if I want to see all 6 of these units, I hit the plus sign, and then I see all 6 of those units sitting right there, and any of these other items. So that's how you can expand and contract on that. Now, a little bit unmeaningful there, so let's go ahead and find out what status is this. So back. I'm going to double click here on the status field, and that puts me in the field. I'm hitting Control A. Actually, I'll just select all, which is Control A. I'm now going to do a copy and put that up here. And now I'm just doing a Control V as in Victor and paste. Now let's see what that did. So now I know I have 750 units available, 311 SA and so forth. So let's go ahead and expand the SAs. And over here in sales list, that doesn't look good. I want to see dollar signs and so forth. So we'll put a cell expression in that field. I'm hitting back. I'm going to right click on the sales list field, go to expression, and I'm going to hit the my enter key to drop that down and kind of show you the long way to do this, but it's a good way. Conversion. And what I want to do is I want to format that. So I'm double clicking on format. And now what do I want to format? I want to format the sales list field. So I'm grabbing the entire sales list field, right-clicking, cut, and I'm going to put that right between the two prints, and then right-click and paste. So format sales list, comma, quote sign, currency, quote sign. So format the field sales list to currency. And let's get rid of these two extra brackets here and hit save. Let's hit preview and see if we were successful. Hit the plus sign next to SAs. And now we have just two decimals and we have a dollar sign. But again, kind of looks funky. It's over here left justified. So let's go ahead and fix that. I'm clicking on that field. Then I'm going to make sure I'm in the home. I'm going to hit the more button and then hit the right justified. And let's see what that did. Hit the plus sign next to SA. And now our numbers are right justified. So let's go ahead and expand that. Now, one more thing. What about total price of all that? Let's kind of see what that would look like. So the last expression I want to show you. So again, I'm going to grab everything in here. I'm doing a Control A. So I grabbed all the items. I grabbed the expression in this field. I'm doing a copy. And I will paste it up in this field. And I'll right click, cell expression, and paste. So format sales. But this is going to be a summary of everything in A and SA. So I need to add one more function in here. So I'm clicking right here. And that would be an aggregate of the group. So I'm double clicking on sum. Set through my sum there. And I want to get rid of the close paren and throw it all the way to the end over here. And put my close paren there. So format the sum of sales list and currency. And it's very important to have all your brackets have, if you have an open, you have to have a close. So let's go ahead and see if that worked. And preview. Again, I kind of messed up there. Let's see what I messed up at. I should have put my close paren there. And now let's get rid of the close paren over here. So format the sum of sales list, sum that first, and then format it. It works from in, out. So let's hit save. And let's hit preview. There you go. But again, I forgot about the right justified. So if you will indulge me, let's take care of that too. So clicking on that field, making sure I'm on home, hit the more button, and do the right justified. And one last time. Now I have 1,000,009 in available, 22 million in SA, and so forth. So hopefully that was informative. What we did, again, we created a report. We added a header to the report. We added a table group to that report. Then and then the table group to the report was the statuses. We wanted to group them, as you're seeing, by status. And then we filtered out the FSs. Again, in the table grouping, we said group by status, but filter out FSs. Then we added a row count at the very beginning, and we did a count of all the stock numbers. And then, let me go ahead and hit back. It's the hardest one to explain. But after we did our count ID, we came back to the data row and go to properties. And we said count or toggle the count ID. Every time the count ID toggles, I want to see expanded or contracted. Now, I didn't show you what true and false means here, so let me go one more time, hit preview. You are going to see it in the non-expanded view. Go back and hit change that to false, and hit preview again. And now you see it in the expanded view by default. Now you still can, if I hit this plus sign, that will contract it, plus sign again, that will contract it, plus sign again, and then plus sign again. So that true or false just controls how you initially see your data. So I hope that was informative, and I thank you very much, and have a good day.